All right, here we are at the racing update. It's going to be crazy. We got Chris Graves of Funny Car Chaos. All right, I got all nervous because Multistream kicked us out the server. And I kind of jumbled that Funny Car Chaos thing. My apologies to Chris. I hope he wasn't listening yet. But hey, big news. We got Chris Graves of Funny Car Chaos coming up here in just a few minutes. And I'm not going to mess around with a bunch of babbling stuff because now we're 4 minutes behind. So I'm just going to bring in one of the greatest racing minds of all great racing minds. Weight unknown, background unknown, but you know him. Here he is, King Tom.
What's up, dude?
Dude, just messing up the beginning here. I really thought I nailed it. You know, we kind of went through the intro, and I thought, hey, I nailed that, and I got all excited, and I was wrong.
If everybody out there on the internet could have seen the dry run, it was on the money. Hit the post, did everything perfect. But, you know, here we are. We're on the internet, so of course we have a technical glitch right up front.
Like the Grateful Dead, we're still working on the perfect show.
That's right.
Still looking for that.
We'll just keep jamming until somebody just starts nodding their head along with us, I think. That's how it works.
But like I said in the intro earlier, we got Chris Graves of Funny Car Chaos coming up here in just a minute. We got some news for that, so it's great to have him take some time out of his busy schedule and talk to us about that. But first, we're going to jump right into some stuff, and that means Gator Nationals in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, the Gator Nats over the weekend was absolutely awesome to watch. I think I sent you a quick message. It was a Saturday sellout, Sunday sellout. The parking lot was completely packed out at the Gator Nats. I mean, the talk on the broadcast yesterday is Florida the best market for the NHRA, and I think it's absolutely making a case by selling out the Gator Nats. It was really cool to see all the participation from all the classes they had, and the way they did the TV broadcast. It was a really good race to watch. So I couldn't say enough about how the NHRA is kind of stepping up with the. I think there's just a lot of pent up demand for big time drag racing, and you got Tony Stewart out there. There's a lot of things that are kind of buzzing around the NHRA to see. It's
absolutely
really awesome to see.
I think a lot of things fed into it. Of course, you got Atlanta that closed, so you got those fans that aren't going to have a race this year, so they're looking for some entertainment. I didn't see the broadcast. I'm saving that for today. I had a lot of stuff going on, but I did see where they had the largest NHRA crowd of all time.
Yeah,
they set a new record.
It was absolutely bananas. Like, the parking lot was full, and they had to move into auxiliary parking lots. They had all kinds of crazy stuff happening just to get the people parked and get them into the show. There were so many people there. That's just really, really awesome to see when you got NASCAR events, not selling out these days, and racing in general, some things just kind of declining. It's really, really cool to see drag racing staying, very relevant right now in an era where, man, I hate to even talk about it like we did last week about the electric cars and that kind of thing, but there's a lot of that stuff staring us old guys down that want to go racing. But it's really cool to see that happen this weekend. So
I saw where Jack from Cycle Drag was like the last guy in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like they showed a picture of his van or whatever. It's the last dude to leave.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. And I guess, and I'm going to start out with Pro Stock Motorcycle just for you. Because Angie Smith made the final round, right?
Yes.
She's
beat. Awesome, dude.
Yeah, she's awesome. She got beat in the final round. But what I noticed is that her crew chief had shiny pants on with Denso written down the leg. King Tom needs some of those shiny pants. That's all. I had to tell you that, so that when we go to
check that out.
When we go to live events, King Tom's going to need some shiny pants.
Like sequined pants?
No, not sequins. Just you'll see. Shiny pants, man. It was a dude walking around on the starting line with those pants on is a bold statement, is all I can tell you.
Well, and the reason why I'm kind of bewildered, I'm kind of laughing because I was watching Wheel of Fortune the other day, and Vanna had on some shiny pants. And, she's always got some kind of cool outfit that she's wearing, but she had this 70s throwback disco sequin pants that I even told my wife, I was like, hey, I've got to have some of those. Those are awesome.
That's what I'm saying, man. We got to make a statement when we're out there live. If we ever get a chance to get to one of these Funny Car Chaos events or some other event here this year, we definitely need some of those shiny pants.
Sounds like it's all the rage.
Yes.
I definitely need to fit in, so I'm going to look for some shiny pants.
But the other thing, I noticed that Pro Mod was featured on the television broadcast, and it was great to see the Pro Mod guys get their day in the sun with the biggest event ever, and it was really good racing too. So that was really cool to see. We even had a first round burn down in Pro Mod. I mean, they had a little bit of drama going on there. It was really cool to see Pro Mod get like I said, get their place in the sun. The bad news was at the end of the broadcast, Pro Stock got gypped out by the freaking NASCAR broadcast, overtaken. They just cut them off and sent Pro Stock over to FS2 or something. I was like, oh no.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can't. Let's just show the final rounds. We don't need to see the pre-show NASCAR thing in front of the final round of Pro Stock. So that was a big disappointment. Fox needs to get their act together on that. But other than that, like I said, the TV coverage was pretty cool for the race this weekend.
I'm just holding my tongue to complain about Danica. I've actually got it. It's going to be after Chris Graves.
Okay.
After we talk with Chris, I'm
Yeah.
going to complain about Danica and
Well,
how that interrupted. I wondered what was up because I thought it was supposed to be on Fox.
yeah.
But I got the subscription, so I rarely watch the Fox broadcast. So I'll have to check that out today.
Yeah, no, you definitely need to watch the Fox coverage, because the other thing that came up, talk about NASCAR ruining everything. Kurt Busch was on the broadcast. I guess he had driven a Pro Stock in the past for some exhibition thing, but he was just on there. They were just having him in the booth, right, during the race. That's when Queen Brandy just gave up on the racing for the day. As soon as she heard Kurt Busch's voice,
She checked out.
She's done.
She found something else to do.
No, we can't. She's like, I can't put up with that.
I don't blame her.
So,
I
but
don't blame her a bit.
the big thing from the results that I saw was that Salinas goes out and wins Top Fuel. That car, when you see it on the broadcast, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's basically a black car with his own business on the side of it, and that's it. So to see him take a Wally home at this big event with all those fans there, it was really cool to see the unsponsored guy show up and take down everybody.
I was surprised to see him in there. When I printed it out, I was shocked to see him in the winner's side of things.
Yep, had to go through Brittany Force. I mean, it was really
Hey,
good
dude,
racing.
that's tough, man. That's a tough bracket.
It really is.
Congratulations to Matt Hagan. Of course, he won Funny Car. Troy Coughlin Jr. with Pro Stock. Gage Herrera, he's the one that beat Angie out in Pro Stock Motorcycle, and the list goes on and on. But good stuff.
Yeah, the last thing is that during the broadcast, junior dragsters are a big deal, trying to get the kids involved in racing and keep it going for the younger generation. Toyota unveiled this new thing they're doing with Junior Funny Car. It was the weirdest looking little go-kart funny car, but as a kid, dude, I would be all over that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's stupid, but the kid in me is like, dude, I want one of those.
If it was me and I was that age, I'd be all over a funny car, because as we're about to, Chris, I hope you're ready. This is just leading me right into funny cars are the freaking coolest thing in the world. And we're
Pretty
about
cool,
to talk
man.
to a guy who has 50 of them showing up to a race that he put together. So
Let's not mess around. Let's bring him on and talk to him about it. All right, everybody. Hey, we're going to bring on one of the coolest cats I've ever talked to.
Yeah.
It's with Funny Car Chaos. He's the one that's taken, like we were talking before the show about how, like, somebody had to actually think of, hey, you know what we need to do is just do it with nothing but funny cars. And here's Chris Graves. He's going to tell us how that all got started. Bring him on here. Going to unmute him. There he is. Chris Graves, how you doing, man?
Doing good, boys. How are y'all?
Doing great. We were just talking, I'm not sure if you could hear what we were talking about, but we were just talking about Junior Funny Cars and how you're the coolest cat ever for doing this event with nothing but funny cars.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it. We're just trying to have fun and go racing. But yeah, I've been trying to put a junior funny car program together too, actually. And so there's that's going to happen one way or the other. But
Oh, that's
so how
awesome.
cool is that? Now I got a 1-year-old, so I'm more motivated. So,
You got to bring in the next generation, and if you're gonna do it, why not do it in a funny car, right? That's freaking awesome.
that's right.
Chris, what's the age limit for like junior dragsters and junior funny cars?
It recently updated to go even lower. I'm not sure, but I think it's 3. You
Because
can start in juniors.
no, the highest, like what's the oldest you can be and still
Oh,
race those things?
I think it's 18. Yeah,
Because King
or
Tom would look
maybe
awesome.
16.
King Tom would look
Yeah.
awesome stuffed in a junior funny car.
Yeah, yeah, with my head sticking out the roof. That
Yeah,
would
dude,
be.
you'd look like a Shriner or something
Yeah.
at the Mustang Western
Yeah.
Race Parade.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's freaking awesome though. So, Chris, just real quick, we'll get to the update. You know, where there's a big update with the event you have coming up. But for the people who are watching who have no idea what Funny Car Chaos is, give just a quick background on how the series got started and where you're at today versus where you started.
Sure. Yeah. Well, this all started just south of the Red River there in North Star Dragway in Denton, Texas, some 6 years ago now, where I worked as basically an assistant manager type role and put on events there and was trying to put on a match race and it turned into kind of a funny car race. And then it turned into a no rules, run what you brung funny car race with a pretty big purse. And so we did that one time. Had 24 cars, I believe, at the first race from coast to coast.
Wow.
They came to North Star there, and we, it was supposed to be at that time. It was not to be repeated. It was just a one time thing, and the racers and the people just loved it. And they were like, "Hey, you do this again? I want to come." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll do it at North Star again next fall." And then I had racetracks calling me, going, "Hey, what do you think about doing that over here?" And I was like, well, I don't know. And at that time, I was still full time photographer and drag racing and stuff like that. So we had plenty going on, but transitioned and did 4 races in 2018. Went to Illinois, went to Mocan, and went to Amarillo. And then, with the help of John Hale at the time, and Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce, picked up championship funding to pay top 5 and added 4 more races and had an 8-race point series. And it's just kind of been on funny car steroids from there. So,
Yeah, that's really awesome. So, we talk a little bit about the Heritage Series, and that's where you and I met way back in the day, back with Troy Green out there. And by the way, I don't know if you can see, Chris, but I'm wearing the colors today.
oh, wow, that's the OG. Yeah.
Yeah, the Nitro Aromatherapy
It's got my
shirts.
picture on the back.
Yeah,
It's got one of my pictures on the back, I think.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, with the Heritage Series and the March Meet, there was a ton of funny cars at the March Meet out in California, right? So, how close are the rules? And I know that you got to have some kind of rules, but with your series, it's more just, hey, anybody wants to show up with a funny car, you can run it. How close are you to NHRA heritage rules for most of these cars? Or is there any kind of parity there?
Yeah, we're not close at all, man. There are 0 rules in regards to what is between the frame rails. So
Awesome.
we're not regulating pump size, blower size, magneto. There's 0. There's nothing. We've got pro charger cars. We've got twin turbo cars. We've got big pump cars, small pump cars. There's a few heritage legal cars there. But there's no heritage races in this area. So a lot of those cars that were previously run in the Drag Racing Online series were heritage legal, have now gone to a bigger pump type situation. And so the rules free approach is cool because the people who own these cars and build these cars can do what they want with them and build them how they want. Of course, there's rules on safety, but regarding what's in between the frame rails and what kind of body goes on that frame, there are absolutely 0 rules.
That's awesome. Yeah, no rules, run what you brung. Let's just do a race and have fun with funny cars. I can't dream up a better freaking day than that right there.
I love that. Let's not worry about all the details, man. Let's just race.
Yeah, let's just go racing, race something.
Well, tell us a little bit about this event. You're at Texas Motorplex this year. or for this next race. And I saw yesterday where it's been postponed because we got some rain coming in, we got some bad weather. Is that still on for the 23rd?
Yeah, those are tough calls. You can't race in the rain, and you really aren't need to be racing nitro cars under 60 degrees, and we're not going to get that according to every forecast that there is. So the Motorplex and I shared the opinion that let's be safe here and let's just push this thing a week. The 14-day forecast there in North Texas looks great. So tough call. Only had to do that 3 times. We've had 39 chaos events so far and been only had to move 3. So we're 36 for 39. We got good odds, but it happens every now and then, and you got to just deal with it. It's just a drag race. Life goes on, but everybody sounds like they've got all their hotels switched and flights switched, and the car count hasn't gone down at all. So we're still going to see over 50, I believe, there in 2 weeks, March 23rd through 25th there at the Motorplex. So it's going to be a throwdown. We're qualifying 32 cars. And we got almost 20 fuel altereds coming too, which is a decade-long high for that Outlaw Fuel Altered series.
Sweet.
So there's going to be plenty of 200-mile-an-hour nitro-burning awesome stuff going on.
That is so freaking killer. I mean, if funny cars are cool, but fuel altereds, man, that's really my first.
You love those things, man.
There is nothing wilder than a freaking fuel altered. So that's really cool. You're going to be able to see 20 of those and 50 funny cars. And you said nobody is backing out with the schedule change. That tells you how big of a passion event this is for the racers that are coming. So it'll be an awesome thing to go watch.
Well, and I want to add hats off to you guys for making a tough decision early. I know that's always tough when weather's rolling in, and you're familiar with the weather here in Oklahoma and Texas. It's going to change, and you see this on the forecast, and it's difficult to make that call a week out. But to allow everybody that are traveling from all kinds of places across the country to give them plenty of time to change those arrangements, I think makes everybody happy. And again, I know that's got to be tough, and it's disappointing because it's a huge event. You got all this stuff planned, but I think it's great that you pushed it, and that gives plenty of time for reaction and plenty of time to make other plans.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And I've got nothing but positive support from the racers. They know. I mean, we're prioritizing not only the safety, but the entertainment value of what the product we're providing. And it's not entertaining to watch funny cars race in 50-degree weather. You're not going to get good racing. Sure. You're not going to get nighttime racing. You're not going to see header flames. It's just not entertaining drag racing. And that's not what we're here to do at Funny Car Chaos. So.
This event specifically, this has become like the anchor event for you, correct?
It's definitely our biggest race. It is still standing as the biggest funny car race in the world. Texas Motorplex, everything's got to be big in Billy's house, but right. It's a cool thing, man. It's a great way to start our season. People have been cooped up for months. They've been working hard, making improvements to their cars. There's a bunch of new paint jobs this year. So it's the mega race for sure. It's the only funny car race where we qualify 32 cars. We qualify 24 at all the others, but there's going to be 70 feature cars on the property, plus jets and all kinds of front engine dragsters and things like that. So it's going to be a good weekend, man. We're excited. And for those of you who can't catch it live, you can be a flowracing.com subscriber. You can watch the whole Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos series on live stream from your house. So it's well worth the $125 or whatever it is a year. That's like $7 a race. So check that out on flowsports.com if you're into the live streaming.
I'm glad you added that because Flow Sports does a great job at covering races. And if you can't make it to the event, which we always encourage people because you can't smell it through Flow Racing.
Feel it.
That's the only bad part about Flow Racing is you can't smell the race like you can when you're live in person. But
that's right.
If you can't make it to the event, hey man, it's certainly a nice consolation. They got great coverage, lots of cameras, and it's always a good show.
Yeah, and actually we're gonna live stream our test session Thursday on the Funny Car Chaos YouTube channel for free.
Oh, cool.
We want to skip out on paying attention at work and get your YouTube pulled up on your work computer there and watch us do funny car testing all day on Thursday. What was that? March 23rd. Yeah, 2 Thursdays from now. Check it out on the YouTube channel for Funny Car Chaos. They'll be live streaming all day long.
Okay. Now we'll put that down for next week's show as well. We'll make sure get all the people on the YouTube and then get them on Flow Racing to watch the rest of the event if they can't be in person. So
Love it. Love it. Hey, Chris, thanks for taking time out, dude. I know you're super busy,
Hey.
especially with the plans and stuff shifting, and you got a lot of things to do, so we're not going to keep you. But we appreciate you taking time out and talking to us about this event, and really looking forward to it.
Hey, I appreciate it. Let me say one more thing. While we were talking about Outlaw Fuel Alters, I've got a reminder here that the Outlaw Fuel Alters will be at Thunder Valley Raceway Park there in Noble on Saturday, June 24th. So we're really looking forward to bringing the Fuel Alters back to Oklahoma.
awesome.
And I don't know if we've heard about the new Nitro Chaos series because I don't have enough chaos in my life, but
Chaos is
Nitro
awesome.
Chaos is now a thing, and we have a 4-race point series, and it's exactly like Funny Car Chaos, but only for Nitro cars. So you've got Nitro Dragsters, Nitro Funny Cars, Nitro Fuel Alters, Nitro Pro Mods, Nitro anything on 4 wheels running heads up. And our championship finals is Thunder Valley Raceway Park there in Noble on the weekend of September 22nd and 23rd. So Oklahoma Nitro fans, that's the weekend you need to be in the house. We're really looking forward to that.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I actually had it on my notes and I didn't transfer it over here. But yeah, I saw some social media posts where people are talking about it, and not even from Thunder Valley. I saw just some friends were kind of excited about it. So word's getting out. That's going to be a big event and super loud down at Thunder Valley. You know, they got new owners. Well, I'm sure you know that. They've got new ownership down there, and they've really made a lot of changes and doing some cool stuff, bringing in food trucks and things like that. So that should be a great event down there.
Yeah, I know 2 guys who I expect to see there.
You will absolutely see us there. Now, my question is there going to be a bracket race thrown into this Nitro event?
You know, we haven't finalized the filler programs, but I'm sure that there will be some sort of bracket class or series of index classes or something. Yes.
Okay, well, I will be there. If you have something like that, I will be there with the car. So you can
Cool.
count on that.
Even better.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Chris, again, thanks, buddy. Thanks for that information
Thank you.
and that additional info on Thunder Valley. And, man, and again, thanks for being on the show. This is your second time, and that's only the toughest come on here twice.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.
There you go.
How about that, dude?
That guy. It's so awesome to see what he's done with everything that he's doing now. Nitro chaos everywhere, like he said. Because Chris and I do go back quite a ways. We rode out to California with Troy with a front engine top fueler back in the early 2000s together, and that's kind of where I met him. But it's been really cool to keep up with him over the internet, at least. Seeing him on Facebook and all the updates he's had. I mean, that is a really, really cool event that we definitely have to get to one. And since they're coming to our backyard, we got to have shiny pants ready to go, Chad.
Shiny pants will be there. Even if I just got to make them, with some spray paint. I've got to show up with some
Yes.
shiny pants now.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's pretty cool that he, he made it sound so easy.
Yeah.
Where, we were messing around and hey, we had this great big thing come out of it. But they put a lot of work into that deal. Like that's a lot of moving parts. So congratulations to them and having some success on it.
It really is. It's a good day when the Texas Motorplex and Billy Meyer just decide to call you up and say, "Hey, you want to come have your race at my place?" That's a really good day. So,
Speaking of that sort of thing, I'm going to transition into something we don't normally talk about. But it involves us, and so I got to bring it up. I saw where Governor Stitt is pushing a bill that will ban drag shows in Oklahoma, and I want to invite everybody to stand up for your rights, as this is going to hurt Tulsa Raceway Park, Thunder Valley, Ardmore, Dragway. That we can't be banning drag shows.
are we sure that this is drag shows we're talking about, or is this? I'm unclear.
I
on this.
just caught a little article. They talked about drag shows.
Okay.
And
No.
we're all about this is a drag show sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, we cannot have that. I don't know what that.
So everybody, email Governor Stitt, tell him that you love drag racing, that drag racing is awesome, and that you support drag shows here in the state of Oklahoma because we don't want that to go away.
Yeah, I mean, we've already got the Fainting Goat Nationals planned over at I-44 after last week.
Yeah.
We need the Fainting Goat Drag Nationals as well. So
We're trying to put stuff together. We're
Right.
trying to compete with big events like Funny
Right.
Car Chaos and stuff. And now we got somebody trying to ban drag shows. And, this, like I said, that includes the racing update.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about other, NASCAR and dirt track and stuff because we kind of have to.
Right.
But it's really just a drag show. And
Man, Stitt really needs to look around at what happened at Florida this weekend if he's trying to ban drag shows. I think the Gator Nats were pretty good for the Florida economy this weekend.
well, and in his like Florida's pretty good at drag shows.
Right, they really are.
They have probably some of the biggest drag shows ever.
A lot of people show up. There's no doubt, of all
But-
kinds.
That's my political rant for the day. Be sure and email Stitt or call him. Stop by the house. Just go knock on the door and be like, "Hey, dude, we need drag shows."
We need more drag shows than we have today.
All right, that's
Awesome.
end. I'm putting a big check mark there.
Good. What else is going on in the world that we need to talk about?
Can we talk smack on Danica Patrick's
Yes,
performance again?
Please.
I got to the house. I had some stuff going on, and I flipped it on Fox in hopes of seeing just a little bit of drag racing and
Sure.
stuff. But it was over. I say it was over. They had already started their NASCAR coverage, and dude, it's just awful. Their broadcast is awful, man.
It's pretty tough.
It's slow. It's not. There's no boogity boogity. There's no fun to the thing. It's just this dry toast presentation,
I know.
and I don't understand how they continue to let it happen.
I don't either. Clint Boyer tries and tries and tries to be everything that they need, but he's just not enough. And you bring a wet blanket like Danica Patrick on to spice things up. That was your good idea. It was awful.
Of all the people, like there's
I-
tons of
I
people
know.
with cool personalities, and let me rephrase it. There's tons of cool people with personalities.
Right.
They don't even have to have a great personality. They just have some kind of personality, and it's frustrating. It's really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she has to have so many words per minute or something. So it's like, okay, let's pause and let her say something, and then when she's done, we can go back to talking about important stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't watch the broadcast. I just watched the highlights, and the highlights I had enough of her just watching the highlights on YouTube. That's too much. And I guess somebody named Byron won.
Willie B.
Okay. Again, who cares? That guy. In the highlights, he did a post-race interview. You know what? I didn't sleep at all last night, and just on YouTube, I just happened upon John Force's first championship season back in like '89
Oh, cool.
or something like that. Just the whole thing, and it was every top-end interview that he did. All of the NASCAR drivers need to watch that as an introduction on how you do interviews after you get out of a race car. That's it. The way that these guys do it is, gosh, just terrible. They are zero personality. Just, I can't get behind any of them. I was really disappointed that Kevin Harvick was out front and got that late caution, because of course I want to see somebody like Harvick get out. At least he's got some kind of personality.
Well, it's another one of those things where, what was the restart with, like 3 laps to go? And that was right after another restart, so it was there was like kind of 2 restarts there, one right after another. And you had Byron, then Blaney, then Reddick, then Larson, then Harvick, then Christopher Bell. But with 3 laps to go, the only cars that really get to compete are kind of like the ones right there at front. So
Right.
kind of the top 4 really is all that got to compete for the deal, and everybody else gets boxed in. I was disappointed because Bell was in 4th actually, rolling into that restart, or after the first. Let me rephrase that. That first restart there at the end, and I like to see him do well.
Yeah.
But that's 2 for Byron, so he's up at 59 points. Then Larson at 52. Then everybody drops off there with 46, 43, and they're a little over 10 behind.
Yeah, I just can't get into the endurance racing. It's not my jam anymore. I can tune in for the last 40-lap feature that they're going to run there, but that's it. I can't do it anymore.
That's where it's frustrating to me to not have better hosts.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with some better hosts, you won't be as frustrated during the broadcast.
Right.
It's kind of like Howard Cosell. It's like I was saying last week about people that aren't racers that are still good broadcasters,
Yeah.
and then people who are even great racers or terrible broadcasters.
Right.
It's like Howard Cosell. He could do a great job, and he never drove a race car.
Right.
But he would make it fun and make it exciting, and that's what we're lacking there on Fox. I hope they kind of turn their game around.
No, I really think you're onto something there. Less race car drivers in the booth. Just because they're a race car driver does not mean they're going to be a good announcer. And Fox is just struggling with that right now because they think everybody had to drive a race car if they're going to announce on Fox. So it's brutal. But
it's the
hopefully they
same
figure it
company
out.
that put Tony Romo in the booth.
That's Don't start talking trash on Tony Romo. I don't know if we have any football fans watching this show, but everybody
Probably not.
supposedly loves him now that he's an announcer.
He's awful. And part of it is just always going back to, as a racer or as a player or, when I was a racer, I don't care what you did. Like, your days are done.
Listening to No Playoff Wins, Tony Romo, bless you.
Sorry
Listening to Tony Romo, No Playoff Wins, Romo, armchair quarterback, these guys out there in the playoffs. Yeah, that's tough to
That's
listen
why
to.
I compare him to Patrick. Like,
Right.
it's anyway. Speaking of Patrick, Tulsa Raceway Park on the 17th. That's Friday. Test and tune. It's green vehicle night.
Oh,
Drive your green vehicle out there and get 50% off your tech card. It's only going to cost you $22.50 to race.
nice.
It's
That's a great deal for a guy with a green car.
It's a bargain. It's almost worth going and buying a green car just so that you can race for $22.50.
If you have any type of green car, remember, you can take it to Tulsa Raceway Park and race it. Literally any car. Just remember that at all times. You show up to a drag strip, you can race it.
And I didn't see any rules that said that it had to be like a factory green car,
Right.
which means that you can break out the roller and the roller pan and make yourself a green car by Friday. You got plenty of days to do that.
This is true. House paint on a car always does tie the room together.
So that's Friday night, not Saturday night. That's Friday night, right? The 17th
Nice.
is on Friday,
Yeah.
which is why they did a bunch of St. Patrick's Day parades on this past Saturday, which makes no sense to me.
No.
Just celebrate the holiday on the holiday.
Wherever it lands.
I was driving into the studio on Saturday and saw a Jedi walking down the sidewalk. And I thought to myself, this is why you get up early, dude. You get up early just to see the Jedis. And that's my first time at seeing one on my way to the studio.
You can't trust a Jedi. I mean, they kill little kids and stuff from what I've seen in those movies. So I'd be very nervous with a Jedi walking around the neighborhood.
Yeah, he had a lightsaber and everything. I stopped and took his photo. I'll put it up later today. 'Cause
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Slice your freaking arm off walking around the neighborhood.
Here's what was weird about it is I was like, hey, man, you mind if I take a photo? Because I don't want to battle the Jedis. I got things to do. But what was funny is how he was on his way to the St. Patrick's Day parade. That's where he said he was going. And it's like, well, that's the weirdest combo I think I've ever heard.
That is an Irish Jedi, huh?
That's
Okay.
what it.
There's a joke. All right, write down. We got to make an Irish Jedi joke up by next week.
Hey, speaking of that, did you ever come up with the Giacomo joke?
No, I didn't. Dang it. I gotta read my notes before I walk in here at some point. But an Irish Jedi walks into a bar is some kind of joke.
Speaking of Giacomo and his appearance waving the flag at the last Formula One race, this next week is another Formula One race in Saudi Arabia.
All
It's
right.
coming up this weekend. I know you're a big fan.
Yeah. You might have to text me to remind me to watch that. I don't know. Might watch it. Maybe not. Most likely not. But I'll be on Dirt Vision watching the World of Outlaws take on the Pennsylvania Posse this weekend. So that's always a good time when they got to go up and take on all the locals in Pennsylvania and see if one of the locals can beat those guys in the World of Outlaws. It's a good event when the guys show up in Pennsylvania. So
I love it when the locals, have a shot at it.
Yep.
It's their shot on the big stage.
Absolutely. It's always fun.
Seems like we had a guy win just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Seems like he won the whole deal.
Yep. Yeah, we had a Pennsylvania Posse guy go out and win a race when they came into town. So, but there's some Pennsylvania Posse guys, some local guys that are heavy hitters that race in other circuits that's not the World of Outlaws. So there's some guys that, they're kind of playing a little side game with the World of Outlaws that they're not full-time World of Outlaws, but let's just face it, they've got the same amount of money as some of the World of Outlaw guys. So
You got to beware of that Pennsylvania posse.
you can't trust them or Irish Jedis at all.
We should take him to the event. We should load him up in the truck.
Yes.
He was headed down here to the cafe down at Boomerang, so I should maybe check with him down there and see if when he's going to come in. Is this a weekly thing that he does? I don't know.
We need an Irish Jedi on the show. That's our next guest, the Irish Jedi.
You know what? I'm going to put that together.
Good.
I'm going to put that together.
Good.
I have a feeling that I'll be seeing him again.
Yeah.
Speaking of Irish Jedis, I want to encourage you to share this vodcast. And yeah, I said vodcast because I'm changing the name. This is a vodcast. And if you share it, you got a chance at winning a free pizza from our friends at Louis Grill and Bar. So do that right now. Like and share. And you could win a free pizza, which is awesome.
Yeah. Free pizza always rules.
Okay, buddy.
All
We
right.
got anything else to talk about?
No, that's it.
I'm just going to jump out.